In this video, we're talking about how to find entry-level tech sales jobs. So we're not talking about just finding any tech sales job. We're specifically talking about entry-level. So maybe you're a recent graduate from college, maybe you're switching from another industry, maybe you have like a year experience in sales, but whatever the case is, we're talking about that first entry-level job to start your career in tech sales. So you can see we're on LinkedIn. If you haven't created a LinkedIn profile already, definitely create one. And then once you're on their website, you can click on jobs at the top, and it'll allow you to search for different job postings in different areas. You can see at the top here, we've typed in sales development representative. Let's just redo the search. Oh, that actually changed the results, interestingly. So first of all, this is probably the first search you should do if you're looking for an entry-level tech sales job, looking for sales development representative in your area. Let's say you're based in San Francisco. Obviously, you can put that in. If you want a remote entry-level tech sales role, LinkedIn allows you to just select remote, and then all the options that pop up are going to be different remote job postings. Let's just stick on this setting for now. So sales development representative, remote, somewhere in the United States. And let's just look at some of these job postings and their requirements section specifically to make sure that they are entry level. So this company is called Cohere. Usually the requirements section are towards the bottom. So this is interesting. You may be a good fit if you have 2+ years of experience in a similar role or at a SaaS company. So that's actually more experience than I would expect from an SDR role, but sometimes there are kind of more senior SDR roles. So maybe this one isn't quite entry level. Let's go look at Datature and see what their requirements say. So their requirements say relevant experience in SaaS or B2B technology product sales. Interestingly, they don't specify an amount of time, like a number of years. I think for this one, but they say here, clear track record of top performance as an SDR against your quota. So it does seem that they are requiring experience as an SDR before. What about Atomic? What you'll do, what you are. I'm not seeing any. Okay, it does say bachelor's degree with 1 to 2 years of experience in a sales related role. These roles are requiring more experience than I'm expecting, because sales development representative is the most entry level tech sales job you can get. I'm wondering if, because just the labor market is so tight, some of these companies are demanding more experience for the job postings, whereas before, it was kind of a candidate-driven labor market. Let's look at Brex. Brex would be like an awesome job to get. It's a very recognizable name in tech. Requirements. Experience in a general sales role. Okay, so this is kind of more of what I would expect. Experience in a general sales role or a related field in hospitality, customer service, etc. So in my experience, when a tech sales company puts something like this, you can have really any experience at all. Even if you worked at a restaurant or had a part-time job during college, if there was some amount of hospitality or customer service involved, or you've done anything that was generally sales related, usually that's enough to get your foot in the door for a job like this. Let's check just one more and then we'll search for a different title. Let's look at Seismic. It's a rapidly growing Forbes Cloud 100 company. Who you are. So an individual who is passionate for selling a great product, 6+ months of inside sales experience preferred. So again, this is another one where obviously you're going to be a more preferred candidate if you have some experience doing what you'll be doing in this role. But the fact that it says preferred here tells me that they would be willing to accept someone or accept some applications, assuming the rest of your application looks pretty good. That doesn't necessarily have a ton of previous tech sales experience. So let's do another job title, business development representative. And while I'm thinking about it, let me just tell you the 3 job titles here. I'll blow up my screen so you can see. The 3 job titles that are really the most important entry-level tech sales job titles are the one we already did, sales development representative, the next, or SDR, or business development representative. There you go, you can see it at the bottom here. Business development representative, or BDR. And the last one is account development representative, or ADR. This is super important. This is actually, I think, one of kind of the most important tips for getting a job in tech sales, because if you don't know those job titles and you're trying to get into tech sales and all you know is like you're trying to get into tech sales, you might come in here and try to type in just tech sales. And then when you type that in, the jobs you get are not really, I guess inbound account executive, it would be a tech sales role. Some of these are actually pretty good fits. But like enterprise account executive is going to be, here, let me make my screen. That's going to be a way more senior role. BDR might actually be an entry level role. Senior account executive is going to be a senior role. BDR might be entry level. Account executive is going to be senior. Senior account executive. So you kind of get like, I guess these results are actually pretty good, but they're going to be all levels of seniority. And if you apply to all of these jobs and you're getting rejected by account executive and senior account executive and mid-market account executive jobs, you might get frustrated and you're like, oh man, I'm just like having a hard time getting in tech sales. But it's not your fault. It's because you're applying to senior roles that normally require like 2, 3, 4, 5 years of experience. So make sure to apply to those roles that I talked about before. SDR, or sales development representative, is the most common, and then BDR and ADR as well. There's one exception. To this rule, because normally the way your career path goes in tech sales is you start out as that SDR, BDR, or ADR, and then you go to account executive. You basically go from sourcing the leads and cold calling and cold emailing to set up appointments for account executives to becoming the account executive that actually does the pitch. But there are different account sizes in tech sales. There's SMB, or small to medium-sized businesses, mid-market, enterprise. And so sometimes SMB, account executive, can actually be an entry-level role, because SMB stands for small to medium businesses. This is like your local barber, restaurant, plumber, and there are lots of these leads. So companies are willing to let entry-level salespeople handle the whole sales cycle. You usually source your own leads as well, but then you're also closing the deals and handling objections. And this is a great way to get started in tech sales, because you immediately become a closer instead of just an appointment setter. This is actually how I started my own career in tech sales. I started at Yelp as an account executive selling their advertising product to small and medium businesses. So let's look through these results to see if we can find any that are actually entry level. Let's look at Brex again, because we had luck with that other role. Okay, so they do require 2+ years of previous closing experience at a B2B SaaS company. So it looks like that one might not be the best fit if you are entry level. But this one specifically says SMB. So let's look. Deputy is a SaaS workforce management company, so this is definitely tech sales, definitely SaaS. Ideally, you have 2+ years of sales experience. So they're requiring some experience as well. Enterprise is obviously, let's remove remote. Let's just try to change our location to see if we can get, if we can get some results that are specifically an SMB account executive. I'm not seeing any. Let me go to. So a couple companies that I know hire entry level full-time or entry level full cycle closing sales reps. I think Angie does. So let's see, and let's change this to just United States. Actually, that's probably what I should have done before. Okay, inside sales rep for ad sales. So you can see this one is Topeka and this one is Owensboro. I don't even know where that is. the pay range is so wide. 30,000 to 200,000 is very wide. But let's see. 2 years. Okay, so to join our team, you'll need a bachelor's degree or 2+ years of sales customer-facing experience required. So this is definitely one where even if you're a recent grad, you can definitely apply and get hired for this job. Or even if you didn't go to college, if you have 2+ years of sales or customer-facing experience, you can get this job. So this would be an example of an entry-level tech sales role where you're not just an appointment setter, you'll actually be closing business, and it probably says that up here. It's like overcome objections. You will be doing cold calling, but you will be meeting and exceeding required sales targets. You will be responsible for contract value sold each biweekly pay period. So this is a full cycle role. You're going to be cold calling and sourcing your own leads to actually selling. So if you're ready to get right in and sell and handle objections right away, Angie, ANGI, would be a good option. Yelp is where I started my career. Let's see what happens if we search for Yelp sales. Account director. So inside sales representative. So you'll notice account executive is the most common tech sales role or tech sales job title for closing roles. But I'm seeing inside sales representative being used more and more. And oftentimes this is actually kind of the more junior version of account executive, because I noticed that Angie and Yelp are both starting to use inside sales representative, whereas when I was at Yelp, they called us account executive. So let's see what the requirements are for this remote role at Yelp in the West region. So again, it's almost the exact same as Angie. As long as you have a high school diploma and 2+ years of customer-facing experience or a bachelor's degree. So again, recent grads would be perfect for this job. And then I'm trying to think of maybe one more company. I know I've come across a few. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but if you if you are interested in getting started in this inside sales representative or account executive role for selling to SMB, small and medium-sized businesses, send me a message on LinkedIn. My name's Cole Feldman, ColeFeldman, or you can just comment on this YouTube video and we can talk in the comments, or you can join our Discord server. Actually, that might be best. If you join our Discord server, that link to our Discord server is on our website, breakintotechsales.com, or it's also in the banner of our YouTube channel. That'll be a really easy way for us to chat back and forth, and we can talk more about finding some of these roles that are, inside sales representative or AE for entry level. So hopefully this was helpful to show you how to find entry level tech sales jobs, specifically if you've just graduated or you're switching from a different career, or maybe you have a little bit of sales experience and you didn't go to school. SDR, BDR, and ADR, or an AE or an inside sales representative that sells to the small to medium business SMB segment. Those are going to be your best bets for entry-level tech sales jobs. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. Pretty much everything we talk about is tech sales. It's all about how to get a job in tech sales and also how to be successful early in your tech sales career. So if you are interested in tech sales, definitely subscribe. If you don't care about tech sales, I would be surprised if you've watched this entire video. So thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.